Hey everyone, Death Metal Antichrist here, back with a brand new fucking video. So, by the way, since October's over, I'm going back to my metal videos. So I'm just going to be talking about metal till next October, and then after that I'm going to be talking about metal again. This is going to be a complete cycle that we do. So yeah, now in today's topic, is metalheads closed-minded? And I don't mean in like politics and shit, or like religion or race, any of that sort of stuff. I mean, are they closed minded as in like what music they listen to, like this, that, yada yada yada, like that kind of stuff. No, I'm just gonna go straight off the bat and say a metalhead who only listens to metal isn't inherently closed minded per se. My definition of closed minded is someone who's hasn't tried other things, will fob them off, think they're stupid, think they're fucking gay, think they just shouldn't exist, and just disregard them completely and refuse to accept them as a new part of their subculture. If a metalhead has tried other types of music and doesn't like them and only listens to metal, then, in my opinion, that's not closed-minded. That's just... And if a metalhead doesn't really like someone, like a band that likes newer music, like Carcass went from being a gore grind band to being a fucking mellow death band. Carcass. And Lost Society went from being a thrash metal band to being, like, their latest album was kind of a mix of, like, fucking metalcore, nu metal, hard rock, and industrial music, realistically. So they went from that to metalcore to that. So, it's, like I said before, and I'm not going to call anyone like that closed-minded unless it's like they refuse to accept other parts of like their subculture in that, like they refuse to say deathcore, which deathcore is one of the heaviest genres of metal, like is a part of metal because it is a part of metal. It inherently is, like, whereas like, and they refuse, like they won't try it. They just refuse to try it, and they'll just fob it off and say it's stupid, it's dumb, it's gay, it fucking sucks. I don't think those people are inherently closed-minded. Not at all. I do think though those people are closed-minded. I very much do. But it's like I'm not gonna go up to someone who only listens to hip hop music but have tried other like styles of music, like, hey, fucking, and call them closed-minded just because they only like rap music. That would be a fucking dickish thing to do. Like, it'd be a dick move. It's just why I wouldn't do it. Or if someone likes pop music or any type of music and won't go into other territories, like they've tried going into other territories but they don't really like it. By all means, I don't really find that much of a problem with that. It's more like it's more metalheads than anything, which is something that's like a real shame to me because metal is my number one passion. I have my death metal band the guitarist and vocalist for. I needed to give that to you. That I just needed that, like I love, like, it's my passion. I never stop thinking about it. I always listen to it every fucking day. I just love it so much. So, you know, it's like, whereas like other subcultures that music I don't really like, or other anything that I don't really like, they're not as elitist as us, which is a real shame because this is my favorite community. I love the metal community so much. Even if they can be elitist at times, they're not inherently all elitists. Like, a lot of them are actually, like, chill people, especially people who like the most extreme genres, like death metal, or slam metal, or grindcore, or thrash metal. Sometimes thrash metal. Sometimes those guys can be assholes. I used to be one of those thrash elitists. Then I got out of that kind of elitist kind of mentality and thought, it's just music. People can like what they like, you know? That, like, I got out of that mentality. I got out of that closed-minded mentality. Like, nowadays, I listen to deathcore, death metal, black metal, grindcore, mellow death. And along with thrash metal. And I accept deathcore as a part, like, even metalcore, even though I don't like metalcore, I accept it as part of the subculture. I might not accept nu metal, but that's just because I think nu metal's a fucking abomination. I may not accept glam metal, but it's not because I don't like glam metal, because I do like some glam metal. It's just because that stuff I don't really think, like, categorizes as, like, metal. Like, it's more like the hard rock kind of style. That granted, a lot of it is metal. Like, a lot of glam metal actually does count as real metal. Like, there's a lot of, like, Twisted Sister and Wasp and that kind of shit. Like, I know you could count that as hard rock too, but a lot of that stuff is also metal. And that doesn't really make me an elitist, I hope. But, yeah, that stuff is basically, you know... But, yeah, that's... A closed-minded person would just refuse to ever change as well, and just stay in that elitist, stuck in the past, fucked up mentality, and would never ever change. And would always just shit on all the other genres. Like, it's like me going up to someone and saying, oh, you like anime? Oh, and you've tried other types of shows and you don't like them? Well, you're just a fucking idiot then. That's wrong, because they've tried it, they don't like it. This is just what they like. I don't fucking like anime. I can't stand it, realistically. But I'm not going to shit on someone just because they do like it. That's not what I'm about. At least not anymore. Like, I just don't... I don't stand for that shit. Like, I mean, there are some closed-minded metalheads, but I would say inherently a lot of metalheads aren't closed-minded. Because a lot of people, like... Because I've met metalheads that are into, like, death metal, but are also into fucking pop music. Like, Sammy Albana from the band Lost Society, he likes Cannibal Corpse and Napalm Death, but also likes Imagine Dragons. And shit like that. So what does that teach you? And look where it got him, experimenting with other genres, but also doing metal. Look where it got him. Lost Society recently played their first stadium show. They wouldn't have done that if they just stayed in the same format as they were doing it before. And just kept doing it over and over and over and over again. They wouldn't have actually succeeded. Because people don't want to hear the same thing over and over and over and over and over again. That's just not what people like. At least not usually. Like, people just want to see variety a lot of the time. That's just what people like to see. I mean, I didn't make the fucking rules here. But yeah, that's just what people want to see usually, which... A lot of bands don't add variety, and people still like those bands, like the newer thrash bands. Like, a lot of them I don't really like and can be generic, and have the same lyrics and the same riffs, and the same drum beat, and the same vocals-ish. The vocals are the most different part. But, like, those are the most... It's usually thrashers that are close-minded, which really sucks, because I love thrash metal so much. Like, my two main styles of metal are death metal and thrash metal. I just love them so much. And it pisses me off that we can be this close-minded. Especially thrashers, because the thrash metal community, the only reason I'm not... Like, because I'm not an elitist thrasher anymore. Because I used to be a massive thrash elitist. Like, I'd only listen to thrash metal, death metal, traditional metal, and a bit of groove metal. That's all I would listen to. And if you were lucky, a bit of Melodeath. So... I'm just glad I got out of that place, you know? I got out of that elitist stage. Because it's not needed in the metal community at all. Anyways, I just thought, Anyways, that's all I can really say about this topic. I'll see you next time, possibly tomorrow, for a new video. And remember, guys, stay brutal. Squeeze!